Nader Hashemi, who is an associate professor of Middle East politics at Georgetown University. He joins us live from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for your time, Nader. What do you make of this apparent escalation in tensions? How much of an escalation are we looking at here, and just how concerning is it?
Well, it's very concerning because now the ball is in Hezbollah's court. And if they don't respond to the attack tonight in Beirut that has killed at least 3 people, injured 74, then that will simply invite more Israeli attacks. I had a chance to look at the numbers of people killed since October the 7th on both sides of the Israel and Lebanon border a couple of months ago in the month of June, and it was roughly 500 people killed in Lebanon by Israel, mostly civilians, and roughly 30 people killed in Israel by Hezbollah rocket fire, mostly military. So that gives you a sense of the disproportionate sort of casualty toll that this war is producing on both sides of the Israel-Lebanon border. And of course, the big fear here is that there's going to be an escalation that can convulse the entire Middle East. And I put most of the blame on this particular escalation on the United States of America, because it's exactly and precisely because of the Biden-Harris foreign policy team refusal to put any serious constraints on Israel for what it's doing in Gaza, effectively giving Netanyahu a green light that has got us to the brink of what looks like a broader regional war.
And on that, Nader, what do you make of the US Vice President's comments, Kamala Harris saying or defending Israel and this latest strike on Beirut? What do you make of that?
Well, that's a standard American talking point. In fact, it's indistinguishable from the talking points that you hear out of the government of Israel, that Israel has the right to defend itself. So it's precisely this language that effectively gives Israel a green light. Let's not forget that the root of this crisis is what's happening in Gaza today. And after 40,000 dead Palestinians in Gaza, Kamala Harris, who wants to be the next president, is still using the same talking point that Israel has the right to defend itself. And of course, it does under international law have the right to defend itself. The question really is how it chooses to do so. And as we're seeing in Gaza, the International Court of Justice has ruled that what Israel is doing is a plausible case of genocide. And what it's doing in Lebanon now is a gross, I think, overreaction if one just counts the body bags. And so Israel will continue to behave in this way precisely and exactly because of the statements and policies of establishment politicians like Kamala Harris. So that should be a warning sign to anyone who thinks that somehow Kamala Harris is better than Joe Biden is on U.S. Middle East policy.
And Nader, in your opinion, what next from Hezbollah? Do you expect a retaliation in response to this airstrike?
I do, because if they don't, then, as I said a moment ago, it will simply invite more Israeli attacks. There is a relationship here that Israel has had with Hezbollah for a very long time, where each side tries to sort of hit the other until some sort of modus vivendi is established. Both sides try to establish what's called deterrent capacity to show that they have the ability to hit back when their side is hit. So Hezbollah is going to try and, I think, respond. But of course, in the danger of doing this back and forth, hitting of each other's targets in the name of deterrence, you can easily go up what's called the escalatory ladder. And then you have a broader regional war staring us in the face. So that's the big danger here, is both sides sort of try and, hit back at each other's targets. And it's unclear, what good targets Hezbollah can identify that can both send a message that it's not going to tolerate these types of attacks on its senior commanders, while at the same time not escalating the conflict in the region as a whole, which is something I don't think Hezbollah or its backers in Iran want to see. But I want to emphasize this type of brinksmanship is going to continue as a direct result of the fallout from the horror show that we've been seeing in Gaza for the last 10 months.
Nader, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for your thoughts here on TRT World. Nader Hashemi speaking to us live there from Washington, D.C.
Thanks.